What's up, live? What's up, live? All right, we doing it one more time. So, today we're gonna talk about after the job is done. Now, what's going on is that I'm implementing some of these systems into my company, and then I want to share because I think what's going on, we hear automation and we hear that we need automation, but I think a lot of times we don't know what to automate. We don't know where we're going and what actually is supposed to be done. And so the reason why I got that, because now that I'm actually getting more in depth, it's like I'm seeing things that I didn't know. And I know if I didn't know, other people don't know it. And we hear these things set up. We know we want to get certain things happening for our company, but we just don't know some of these things, right? So that's what I'm looking here to go to today. I'm gonna get straight to it tonight. We have been walking through what really happens inside of a cleaning company for the past couple of weeks. Um, what the owner thinks, well, how I'm gonna say it. So for the past couple of weeks, we've been. I'm trying to figure out how to actually go about this. But the owner thinks the work is handled. Okay. So the past couple of weeks, we think the owner think the work is handled. We talked about what happens after the lead replies. We talked about what happens after the job is assigned. All right, and then we talked about what happens when the standard breaks, what else can be done to correct it. All right, tonight I want to talk about what happens after the job is done. All right, because a lot of times the owner thinks, or we think, that the work is over when the task is complete and the crew is finished. And so I want to say that because I was talking to a guy and we was going over getting reviews, right? So a lot of times in service business, we get a lot of reviews, and that's really important. And to get people to do reviews, sometimes it's kind of tricky, right? And so he was in another industry. And this is one of the great things about being able to work with other people and talk about business, because I start to see what's working in other industries. Like, all right, so he brings people home from prison, right? He's a bondsman, and his thought process getting the Google review is right when you bringing them, trying to get them, get them out. Now that made me think about it. So a lot of us ask for Google reviews, and some of us don't have it to where we're getting it right then, right? Like right when the job is done, get a review, and you know what I mean, and follow up and make sure the relationship is nurtured. And that's what I was talking about today. Because I think the after the job is done, and for me now, I'm learning more on how to build a relationship. I got to figure out ways to build a relationship with my clients um, through a system, right? Because um, as you start to have teams in place, you start to get out of tune. Like you can see things slipping, and that's just from my experience right now. So I'm putting certain systems in place, and again, I think a lot of times people don't know what they're looking to get. So I'm gonna start off with the cards today. Um, we're gonna go over. Let's see. Let's get this together. Let's go with this one here. All right. So uh, what this one is talking about, the work may be closed, but the customer relationship is not. All right. So as you see on top of here, we have a review, repeat, and referral. All right. So you want to review. This back on here. Can we get this right? All right. So wait a minute. Hold up. I got a message. Let me see. Let me get this right. Okay. All right. So after the job is done, you want to make sure you get a review and a referral. All right. So that's one thing that I have not been working with. So I have not been working with asking people to get referrals. And that's what we're gonna go in a part of the marketing thing that we're doing. So inside of the company, we have those certain things that we're doing each week. So one week I got some flyers set up. And so we're gonna go do flyers. And then another thing we have someone doing a little cold calling. and then another one we have some emails going out, right? So as we start to build and start to nurture another one of these marketing things is getting referrals. And so with this system here, what I'm actually looking in, and a lot of times I like to go and start doing live because I'm starting to learn more about what I'm doing in the company and why, because I can explain it more, right? And so now I'm understanding why it takes different levels of marketing or different levels of outreach to actually build the whole thing. Because I was one time I was just doing just cold calling, and I know this is about the follow up and how to get customers to come back, but the calling of my callers to actually see how we was doing actually helped out as well. That's with the cold calling. So not only did I have them calling to actually get services, I had them calling to actually see how the service was done, due to the fact that a lot of people don't fill out the Google surveys and the Google forms. So I said that because when you start to get things going a little bit better, you want to have certain systems set up to get that thing set up for you. Let's see, okay. So the next one I'll talk about is lead replies, jobs assigned, mistakes corrected, job finished, follow up owned. So this is one of the workflows right here. Like this is a system that you can actually set up and actually make sure that you getting the best of a workflow. Now, I go in, I get the job done. I have my cleaner or one of them actually fill in the form. And when they fill in the form, a couple of days later, we have a review. All right. And then the review goes in and then it sees how the job is done. And if they don't answer the review, then we have a caller to call. All right. So that right there could be automated. That's something that you can actually just put in the system and have somebody do it. So that way, every time that happens in your company, you have it done. Now, sometimes what we would go into thinking like you don't need those things automated. Well, automateds are built on top of each other. So once you have one thing automated, then you add something else to it, and then you add something else to it. And that's why just one thing is not going to actually save the day. So when you, as you go back, if you listen to the videos that I came up leading up to this one, it was actually going through some of the automations that I was setting up inside of my cleaning company and actually get to the point where the things are starting to run automate, like, you know, it's starting to run automated. Now, I don't know why I keep saying today. Let's see if some folks come in here today. Nobody can't mess with me today. Nobody mess with me today. Let's see. All right, let's keep it going. So, one thing, so when we started to, let's see where we go. So when we started to get more clients, now we have a couple of people right now that just came on, and as I was figuring out this follow up and trying to get referrals and things like that, I was noticing that they're not being a relationship is not being cultivated. Yeah, we have apps and we have certain things set up, but how are we cultivating a relationship with the clients that we already have? Because see, what I want to do is going into and kind of taking things to them or making them feel valued. But we have to have a system that actually let us know when it happens. For me, because as I'm looking, the relationships are not being built. The work is being done, but we're not cultivating the relationship. And relationships are business. And one of the things in untapped talent, untapped resources business is referrals. So you keep people coming back by the relationship you give them. You actually set up automations to actually make them feel valued. And then you use your CRM actually to have it all put together. Now, that's what automation comes in, because those are a lot of separate things that you have to learn. And so instead of learning them, you put an automation that has that done for you. And I was talking to a guy earlier and he was like, man, people that just starting, they think that they need to have automation right then. And I'm like, no, that's not true. Because first of all, before you want to do this, you want to actually figure out how you're going to do it. So when I speak on certain automations that I'm putting, it comes from things that needs to be done in the business, right? So with this one here, what we're talking about, leads reply, the jobs assigned, we put somebody in the building, and then they might have made a mistake. So how is that corrected? Okay, we send them back if they do or if they don't. Sometimes people don't even put that into the automation. Now, how it's going to be handled, the client's going to be handled. They don't act as if something may happen wrong. What happens if something happens wrong? All right, so we have a protocol for that. If something happens wrong, then we go back and finish the job, and then we follow up. We do the follow up, right? So right there with those six steps, we're doing that, but we're not thinking of each step because we just do those things. And then when something happens, we just respond, and then we go do something again. So with automation or with a structure of building in the business, those things get handled in a systemized fashion. So it doesn't pull you away from some of the things that you want to be doing to actually grow the company. And that's one of the most important things, because I was on the live one time and somebody asked me, what does automation do? And that's what over the time, I'm starting to think of more and more how it's actually beneficial. Now, with the follow-up, right, and getting customers to come in and you want to get the Google reviews, those are going to happen over time, all the time. Like if you plan on growing your company, say for instance, you only have 5 clients, you have 10 clients right now, whatever. You plan on getting 50 clients, okay? But so you want to make sure that what you're doing with the 5 clients can be scaled up to 50 or 60 clients, right? You don't want to have to be chasing everybody down for a Google review. You want to be able to, after the job is done, something shows the job is done, the Google review set, they get an email, thank you for your service, and then the Google review goes out. And then you might have somebody to call to make sure that they're doing a good job. Right now, that's how most of the you get a bigger company with the customer service, but we are able to do that now on the level that we're on now just by using the tools that we have in front of us. I was talking to somebody today, and I was just actually showing them the in-depth side of what they can actually do inside the Chat GPT to actually do this type of stuff, right? You can actually get inside of there and you can actually set it up to as a reminder to go inside of your CRM and email the people that you know you're talking to. I mean, that you know you just had a job with. You could do that because ChatGPT is not the same way it used to be now. It's a lot more. So some of these things that I'm talking about, it's you could do them on your own self. You just don't know how. You just don't have nobody to show you. So as I set it off in the beginning, I want to be able to show people why they need what they need, what they're doing when they're getting it, and how to actually do it and implement it, because it'll help your company grow. It's on the other side of just going out there getting clients. It's actually putting the infrastructure and things inside of the company that keeps it growing and not too headache. No, the word I want to say headache, but not too what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know what word I'm looking for, but it's not too much on your mind. So all right, so we have a walkthrough. Walkthrough, when we get on our walkthroughs, we usually put in the proposal, and then when we put in the proposal, we do a follow-up. All right, so after you do the follow-up, what happens? Right, what happens in your company? And so when we start to see those things as other things, start to write them down and start to get a process, automation becomes a lot more rewarding for you. And then you can focus on going back and making sure the clients did a good job. I mean, the cleaners did a good job. Going to talk to the clients, because that's my next move, right? I want to be able to build a relationship with the clients. So therefore, on the level that I am on, I have a system that kind of makes the clients feel valued. Because right now, again, I'm seeing the work get done, but I'm not going over and above with the client connection like I would want to. And so that's why I bring this up today, because as I did a job, we get a job done and we don't ask them for a review right then sometimes they say they're going to do it and don't do it. And that's really important. So what I did last time, I did a job, and then when I almost got through with the job, I showed her around, and then I was like, hey, do you mind giving me a Google review? While I was there finishing up, she did the Google review, and it was a very good review, right? And so I did that, and I realized that, let me get it on right there. Like, let me get the review, and then you can actually build up a relationship, because if they really like the work, they don't mind giving a review. I've seen people that really want to give a review, and then I left them, and I think they just forgot. Like, I think they forgot. And so thinking more on how to get more reviews in. And so I created an automation to do that. And so now I'm testing it and seeing how can I actually nurture my clients a lot better. I have the CRM set up. I have the automation set up. I have the AI stuff set up. Now, how do I use that to actually make sure my client feels value, right? And so with the level of service that we have and now the abilities, we're going to actually be able to make our clients feel way more value, right? Because I walked into a building the other day and she has a list of events that she holds. It's an event space. And all I told her was to give me a link to her event space and we can load it into our calendar. And then she doesn't have to do anything else. Right. And so now with that level of service, now she's available. She wants to tell someone else because she was blown away. She was like, oh, wow, is that all I have to do? Yeah. You don't have to keep telling us when your events are. Just get us a link and we're going to implement it in here. And then now our cleaners know when to come and when not to come. So this is some of the systems that you set up that bring customers back. Right. So we have, after you go and talk to them, after you do the work, you follow up. Right. You try to follow up and see if you can get a review right then on the spot. Right then on the spot. But if not, then you send them something to get a follow up review. And then after a couple of days, you might have to call them. Because I've had people I've had to call and they still didn't get a review. Right. But I've had, now that I'm working as a manager in this other company, I've done things for him and he's gotten reviews. And so I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So I need to do what I'm doing as a manager working with him, helping his grow his company, right? I need to do that from a perspective of where I am in my company. And that's one of the another great things that I'm learning. And so I'm bringing it out because I don't think sometimes we don't think about what automation really does or how we can actually benefit from it. And those are some of the things that benefits. Is actually nurturing from you getting the walkthrough all the way back to how the customer feels after the service is done and the follow-up 3 to 6 months after that, right? How do you nurture the client to actually keep them inside? You know how many people that when you buy something for them, you stay in the email, right? You stay in the email. They stay in your emails because they want you to, you don't want nothing. They just want you to remember them. And then when you're ready to purchase, you remember them. So now we have that ability, but we don't know the tools, right? So we don't know the tools. So once we understand that these are the things that we need to automate, this is what we need to do to actually increase our customer satisfaction, then we'll start to benefit from the software. We so busy looking at getting the work done. And how am I automate this? I got to go clean this bathroom. Or I got to make this product. I got to do this. No, that's not the automation. The automation is how to make that service more reliable, more enjoyable, to where you do get the reviews. So I did the job for the guy. He got the review. Well, I get it for him. He got 2 reviews recently, right? And so in those reviews, I remember now I'm asking them right then. And I even had one of them, they actually went on the site to give it a review. Now, which was cool, but I want to make sure you got something that you don't have to do that too. Like, no, here's just scan this right here and you just give us a review. And I know a lot of people have that, but a lot of people are not using that, right? And so I really think that with the service business, now that we have technology, we're able to bring good service back to the business, right? We're able to bring top line quality focused service to people now. I'll show you more about it again as I keep going, but like the amount of data and information that I have now working with my clients, as far as when the cleans come on, what issues they have, it allows me to actually work with them better. It allows me to work with, because a lot of times, again, when we build in the business, like we have that stuff, we have these issues, we have these things going on, but we don't actually store them nowhere. We just know, all right, man, they send me a text message, they had a problem here, or they had a problem now. And that's cool, but you don't get to learn from the pattern of what's going on. And that's what's being able to happen now with me and my cleaning company. I'm being able to see how things are transpiring in the company and be able to add roadblocks so they don't happen again. Even from the transcript of my meetings, right? The team is having certain things happen over and over again. So when you pull the transcript and you can actually analyze what's going on in the company, it actually helps you to run the company and make it more efficient. So now I'm able to see how to grow with the customer relations. I'm seeing how to actually bring that service back to the just a clean building. And that's one of the things I think where we're going to shift when AI does a lot of this stuff for us, like the personality, the humanism back into uh, working with your clients. And yeah, that's where it is. I think I got off topic today, but that was just on my mind because that's one of the recent systems I put in was to make sure that we get our Google reviews, to make sure that they will want to do it and it's easy for them, right? And we're looking for more referrals. All right. So cold calling, got a caller calling, like 20, 25 calls a day, not too much. Got some little emails going out. Got emails going out. Oh, I got somebody. It's been 3 weeks in a row that I got walkthroughs, right? Just by doing one little thing different. And so that's crazy because got one this week, ladies on a send a text message, and it was from a teammate, right? Getting a teammate engaged. All right. So the teammates engaged as well. And it's just showing that we get so bogged down into doing one thing that there's so many other things that needs to be done, and you don't have time to do that without automation. You don't have time to think about it like that. And that again, when I'm doing this live, I'm learning on things as well because I'm thinking of how now the way that I see business and how things are going is a lot different than how it used to be. And what makes it so much different is that we can set things up. Like we have so much more to actually work with to make our companies run better. Yeah. Now we gotta withstand the growth. Now we gotta withstand the growth because growing too fast sometimes that could be a hindrance too. Cause man, dude, I remember I was growing so fast that it pulled me into the building. Like, do you want to be a person into the buildings? Or do you want to grow the company to where you outside the buildings? You're not in there. That would make a difference. Cause I was growing real fast, but I was in the building cleaning, and so one of my systems wasn't together, and I was hiring. Right, I was hiring whoever I want to hire. I was so busy cleaning. I was so busy doing this. If you want a job, I'm giving it to you. I'm growing, so I'm running like that, and that's that grind, man. That's that grind. That's cool because you're running. You're in the building. You're putting people there. You're doing this. That's cool. That's that grind. But then you got another level that you move into that you want to build in a structured way so therefore it can actually land longer. And I think that's where people say it takes you a little bit to be in business because there's some things that you don't know. It's some things that you, when you start and when you're going in it, you think you got to figure it out until you see the next level of it and things change. And that's where I think business is headed right now. Um, Things have just changed. Things have changed a lot. But good old, let's see, good old, what's the word I'm looking for? Customer service. Good old customer service is not going nowhere. I think I done went out my topic today. I did go off my topic today. I went way off my topic today. I just got to talking. I just got to talking. Yeah, I did just get to talking. Let me see what I got going on. Let me see if I can get back on task. What was I talking about last time? All right, what is this? Oh, leads reply, job assigned, things get corrected, job finished, uh, follow up on. Who's going to do the follow up? All right. So when most owners stop tracking when the service work is delivered, all right, stop tracking when the service work is delivered. No reviews get asked for, no referrals, no feedback get captured. And so again, these are some of the things that I talk about when I say automation. What you want to actually put things to get done. So when you get things like this handled for you, you can focus on other things. So what we got here. 6 moves after every completed job. You have job completion, confirm, ask experience, catch the issue, request a review, open the next step, and log insight. If it's not on, it would not happen consistently. And so, as I say, when you build an automation, you want to just look at things like this. So this is what you need to look at. What's the next? Oh, what's the open next step? And then you log insight what you learn. All right, from whatever issue you want to make sure you keep it down. So that way you can build the system. You can actually build what you're looking to build. Because again, it's all about customer service now. And so with this AI and all of this stuff, people are learning to rely on automation to do a lot, which frees you up to actually go in and bring back the referrals, go in and talk to people about the services, go in and be more personable now, right? And so a lot of people should have more time to do that with automation. So I think I'm going to end this here today because I went off of time, but I still wanted to get on here. So um, thank you for whoever joined. And we're going to get back next week.